slavery, and it was good that they didn't go for all of the 7 years. Let us talk about the 1st of October 1849, when the British decided to pass a law to shave all people who are debtors, most of them petty debtors, African people, working people, and women will also be included in those to be shaved. And so there was an enormous riot outside of the parliamentary chambers on the 1st of October, riot led, according to Kujo, mainly by women, because they didn't want to be shaved, to have the head shaved off as a debtor. And they stoned the building. And the West India Regiment had to be called, and they shot one fellow dead and damaged a whole set of the others, and arrested a few dozen of the men and women and put them in jail. The Indians were told in India and in the Indian diaspora that this government is Ma Baap. That's what it is. Aapko Ma Baap hai. Ma Baap. I am your father and your mother. They divide Ma Baap. So in India, in Fiji, in Mauritius, in Trinidad and Tobago, the government was Ma Baap. That's the other side I told you about. And when the Indians decided in October 1884 that they were going to come from a number of the plantations in the south and come into San Fernando, and with the Tazia, the Taja, walk through San Fernando and go down to the San Fernando wharf and throw the Taja in the sea. It was fine. This is Ma Baap. They told us we are father and mother. And Ma Baap was waiting for them. Ma Baap was waiting for them on 3 points. Just outside the point up here, where the point up here bridge is. Ma Baap was waiting for them. And Ma Baap was waiting for them down by Toll Gate. And Ma Baap was waiting for them at the roundabout, just as you go into San Fernando. And these people were shocked. Your father and mother. They didn't have any arms, not even stones. And Ma Baap told them, don't move there, don't move there. But they could not believe what was happening, because of the other side of the coin that I'm telling you. They had been so convinced that these were the protectors. And it was bullets. It was bullets in front of the, what's not on the roundabout there. And bullets on Toll Gate. And when the people in Marabella heard somebody going to tell them, they went back home. But this Ma Baap has done it. So more than 15 of these Indians were shot dead with buckshot. Many were injured, and many died months afterwards from gangrene suffered, from the shooting. 23rd of March 1903, Mournful Monday, which the British have sought as good people. They know what the law, justice. There was no Mournful Monday. It's that a stupid people rioting in the water riots. So they called it the water riot, because it's just little water riots. It was no water riot. It was a protest against a number of built-up grievances that the people in Trinidad were asking to have remedied. And so there is this riot on the 23rd of March 1903. 16 persons killed, shot, 43 wounded, 55 women among those shot dead. One 23-year-old young lady, Eliza Bunting, is bayoneted to death just in front of the Red House there. That's Ma Baap, isn't it? That's the benevolent British. Those are the people who give us justice. 1914 to 19 19. Riots again, disturbances all over. Africans and Indians join, particularly in the Port of Spain area. And one of the things I laugh at what I say, which Indians? What kind of Indians you had working there? Grass cutters and scavengers were Indians. They joined the Africans to protest. And the protests extended during that time to Tobago, where in March 1919, there was a firing, shooting of those who gathered there, and one black soldier, not, when I say soldier, they may not be military soldier, one black protester, Nathaniel Williams, is shot dead, and a number of the other men and women are injured and arrested. Lal Bihari Singh, one who had fought in the First World War, returned as a soldier, bludgeoned to death on Waterloo Estate, bludgeoned to death by a white overseer called Anderson. 1937, the riots throughout the Caribbean, 46 dead, 489 injured in the British Caribbean, thousands arrested. Where I come from, Rio Claro, 5 men are shot dead, 20 men and women have to be hospitalized afterwards because they are also shot, not dead. It's just 5. In the riots in Trinidad, the total killed 2 policemen and 14 workers, 16 people that is, but 2 policemen. Among the injured, 9 policemen and 49 workers. That's British justice, isn't it? And I'm not talking about the numbers who were arrested and charged. And one particular thing I remember is there was a woman from Rio Claro, from a well-established Rio Claro family. She was one of those arrested. And the judge sentenced her to 18 months and said, you, as a woman, you crossing the gender bar. Woman not supposed to be outside like a criminal like you. But what was she doing? She was with the men and women in Rio Claro as part of the whole protest movement. Cora Dam scandal. 1946, 1947. $3 million stolen by 2 English engineers and their cohorts and so on in Trinidad. $3 million. Now, if the Cora Dam had been built as it was all planned and so on, and if you go, you see the remnants of what ought to have been the Cora Dam. If it had been built, I don't think we would have had all the water problem that we have now. Because the whole valley was excavated, removed. People were removed and sent to Lopino and sent all over the place. The whole of the Cora Valley was depopulated in order to make the dam. 3 million allocated, and they stole the 3 million. These 2 Englishmen. And there was a lot of protest here in the parliament. The locals here even sent questions to be asked about it in the House of Commons. I have all of these records. The Cora Dam report is there in London. If ever you're going, I'd give you the reference. $3 million swindled by these 2 Englishmen. And what happens? Nothing. There's an inquiry, but it's hushed up. And the 2 Englishmen are quietly transferred from Trinidad to British offices in Washington. So I want to read the comment on the scandal by Sir John Shaw. Sir John Shaw was a governor of Trinidad, and after he left Trinidad, as so many of them do, they go abroad, and he's now permanent under secretary in the Secretary of State's office, responsible for West Indian affairs. Let me just read what Sir John Shaw is writing when another colleague has sent this document to him. 5th May 1953. Thank you for sending me the Cora Dam report. I have read it with interest and distaste. How can we plead a mission to govern dependent peoples in the light of such disclosures? In the light of such disclosures. That is Sir John Shaw. We are not saying some black fellow in England. That's a man inside, in the heart of empire, saying, how can we say that we are going to do all these things? That's the other side of the coin, I'm telling you. That's what we told them we'll do. And here he's questioning that particular philosophy. But they understood the British. He understood them well. And they understood that he understood them and could deal with them. So there is a constant toss-up, a constant tug of war between Badis and the British. He knew how to deal with them. The Americans said, for example, that all the material that they have brought, that's part of the agreement if you look at it, is not to be disposed of in Trinidad. When we are finished using it, well, we'll decide, but preferably send back. But he knew there were Americans who could deal. Why not? The American officials who could deal. Is it the honest, civilized people? The other side of the coin. But he knew who he was dealing with. So he enriched himself with material from the base, because he knew who he was dealing with, and they knew who they were dealing with. The British went down to the lowest depths, as they did, with all these colonial peoples, in order to denigrate him. So one reporter